Do you know the reason behind the kind of impact these people create on the other people's life? The kind of wealth they generate? The kind of popularity they're having? Do you know the reason behind it? Of these three people? How they're actually able to create so much great impact in the people's life. They're actually changing their life. Yes. And do you know why they're actually generating so much high amount of wealth? And why they're super famous, super popular? Do you know the why? And do you know whom I'm actually talking about? I'm talking about these three people. When it comes to the CEO of Physics Wala, the Alex sir, the Khan sir, the Sandeep Maheshwari sir. Do you know why they're so much popular, famous, the kind of impact they're creating, the kind of wealth they're generating? Do you know the reason behind it? If I tell you one common thing in them, it is actually that they're not taking any unique kind of strategy. They're not using any kind of unique formula of physics or unique thing of art and teaching it. They're not telling that, or like any kind of super duper unique solution of any problem. They're teaching it. It is not like it. That something is very super unique. Nothing like it is there. But still, why they are so much popular, wealthy, and how they're actually creating so much great impact in other people's life. And if I tell you, creating impact on other people's life is not a small thing. You're changing their life. You're changing. You're giving some contribution to their life. It's not a small thing. And but they are creating impact. It's not a one person life, two person life, 100 people lives. They're creating impact on millions of people's life, and even more than it. Do you know how they are able to create this much big amount of impact? Do you know how? And that's what in this video I will actually gonna tell you. And if I tell you, whatever they're doing, whatever kind of impact they're creating, whatever kind of wealth they're generating, whatever kind of popularity they're having, is just because of soft skills. I'm not lying. It's what? If you watch this video till the end, you will actually gonna get it. Why and how. So there we begin with it. As I just told you just now, they are popular, they are learning so much. They're creating impact on people's life so much. It's just because of soft skills. So soft skill is not only the thing, but hard skill is also there. You know, there are two skills. First, hard skill. Second, soft skill. And in this video, I will actually going to tell you the impact of hard skill and the impact of soft skill and how they work and which one you have it. Listen very carefully. You know what is hard skill? You know, if you want to be a chef or you are a chef, you have to learn cooking. And that's the hard skill of yours. Chef cooking. You have to learn it. If you want to be a fashion designer, you have to learn fashion designing. And that is what is your hard skill. You cannot be a fashion designer without learning fashion designing. Or if you want to be a doctor, you have to learn that doctorate. And that's what is your hard skill is. And which most of the people have it. Obviously, most of the people will have it because if they want to go in that industry, or if they want to be that person, they obviously have it. And one more interesting part here comes is that if you learn doctorate, you cannot be any other person and you cannot have any other job rather than being a doctor. You cannot be an engineer if you have already learned doctorate. Or if you're an engineer, you cannot be a doctor. If you're having that degree, you cannot be anybody else. Just that single thing you have to stick on. That's what. And this is what most of the people have it, that hard skill. And it can easily be measured. Measured by the certificates, measured by the kind of like degrees you are having, the kind of like those all the report cards you're having. It can be easily measured that, oh, this much education you're having, this much knowledge you're having. It can be easily measured. So that is what is the hard skill is. And when it comes to soft skill, the most interesting part. This is the thing, doesn't matter in which industry you are, which job you're doing, you can have it. You can have it. Like in hard skill, there is a thing that if you already learned engineering, then you cannot be a doctor. You have to have the specific degree for that being a doctor. So, but it's not like it here. Soft skill doesn't matter in which industry you are, what you are, still you can learn that thing. Still you can apply that thing. Still you can have that much impact. Still You can generate so much money by it. And what are the examples of it and what are they? Soft skills are like communication skills, public speaking skills, negotiation skills, teamwork, adaptability. They all are the soft skills. And I know you must have heard about that soft skill, the value of soft skill, the impact soft skill create. So I know you're also having that question that, okay, communication, public speaking, negotiation, it's kind of same thing. And how public speaking can help in my industry if I'm a doctor, if I'm an engineer. I don't want to be a public speaker. And especially this thing that, communicator is just about speaking. So how it can be a skill? How it can be a skill? This question most of the people have. So let me just clear you if we're having this question. If we're asking that communication is just about speaking and how it can help us, let me just tell you. Speaking, conversation, and communication, these three things are different. How? Let me just tell you. Speaking means speaking something in a language, telling something in a language. Just that. Nothing like we're talking or doing anything. Just telling something in a language. That's what speaking is. And when it comes to conversation, it's about exchange of thoughts, exchange of information. Or you just catch that thing from that person and you just give that thing, give that information, and that's what the conversation is. But communication is not that. It's not about telling something in a language. It's not about exchange of information or thoughts. But communication is a lot more different and a lot more impactful. Because communication is a connection. Communication builds connection. It's actually about connecting. Doesn't matter what you are saying, doesn't matter how you are saying, but it's about connection. And when it comes to how you're saying, that actually means directly that connection. You're building a connection. And now like, okay, connection, okay, great. This much great amount of connection that you are having with your best friend, you are having with your loved ones. It can be your best friend, it can be your family member, it can be your friends, it can be your dad, it can be your mom, it can be your daughter. The person whom you trust the most. It builds that much amount of connection. And that's not a small thing. And that's what's the reason these all are people who are able to create this much big impact. Because they know how to build connection. And the same exact thing, public speaking create that connection, that trust, it builds it. And if you're having this question that, okay, connection good, trust good, but how? How it is actually creating this much amount of impact in people's life, that simple connection, that trust. How this is actually creating this much amount of impact in people's life. This much amount of wealth it is creating. How and why? And how it is making that person so much popular just because of it. What's the reason behind it? Why and how? If you want to know, then watch my